Hey guys, and welcome to the very second episode of the SINZ Podcast.
Oh, well, thank you.
Today we're talking about biodiversity, and I've got two awesome people with me here. I've got Callum from Sustainable Future Collective.
That's me, yeah.
And I've also got Wednesday from the university's Marine Science Society.
Hello.
Welcome. Would you guys like to just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, yeah, I suppose. I'm just a Bachelor of Science uni student, and just really passionate about rewilding and conservation in New Zealand. And I'm also with SFC, and we are all about connecting students with sustainability and getting them thinking about sustainability solutions. So that's a little bit about me. Yeah.
Nice, thank you.
Hello. So my name is Wednesday, and I am a sixth-year uni student. So I'm currently doing my Masters in Marine Science, looking at whales, dolphins and seabirds, and I have been the president of Aotearoa Marine Science Society since it started in 2018. And a fun fact about me is that I was not born on a Wednesday. I was born on a Thursday. Just a fun fact.
Nice. I guess it was Wednesday somewhere, right?
That's some kind of like reverse psychology.
Yeah.
From the Addams family.
Yeah.
Literally.
Awesome.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So just to kick things off, we're going to do a quick game or a challenge. It's called Would You Rather Save Edition, okay? So since this podcast is going to be about biodiversity, we're going to be, we've got a bunch of animals, different species, that are currently on the red list, which, do you guys know what the red list is?
Like,
Absolutely.
very endangered.
Yeah, like critically endangered list of species, and it's crazy. They have like over 4,000 new species that have joined the list this year. So, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like a bullet a gate. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so would you rather save a chimpanzee or bluefin tuna?
Are we talking one or the whole species?
The whole species. So this is
Ooh.
a whole species, or I guess it's the last individual from that species, and you have to choose whether to save one or the other. So it's quick fire team. What one?
Chimpanzees.
Chimpanzees, Wednesday, and Callum?
Bluefin tuna.
Bluefin tuna. Okay, so either of those options or an African forest elephant.
Ooh.
3, 2, 1.
Chimpanzee.
Chimpanzee, okay.
Bluefin tuna.
Oh, they're sticking with the original option, alright. Now, those ones or an orangutan. Ooh.
Come on. Like,
Yeah.
We'll shake it up. Orangutan.
Orangutan,
Let's go
alright.
for it.
look, I stick to my guns. Bluefin tuna.
Alright,
Yeah.
okay, so Callum's going 3 hard and Wednesday's changed. Now we've got that or a Kia.
Oh, don't.
Sorry,
Come on.
gotta make a decision.
I'm going Kia. Like,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
We'll go Kia.
Yeah.
I love the kiwi species.
100%. Mountain
Nice.
parrot. What other alpine parrot is there in the world?
That's true. So we've got a Kia or black-footed ferrets.
Kia.
Kia, still sticking with the
Kia. I mean, like, two very conflicting species. For sure. Do a kiwi.
Okay, hold on now. Okay, this is gonna be hard. So a Kia or a Takahe?
Takahe. There's not many of them left.
Nice. What about you, Callum? 3?
So if just a quick question, if I leave the Kia, they go extinct.
Yep.
Okay.
3, 2.
Trade off Kia.
What?
Kia.
Kia.
Yeah.
Okay, sticking with Kia.
I'm sticking with Kia.
Okay, sweet. So we've got Takahe and Kia. Now either those or North Atlantic right whale.
Oh, I think I have to go with the right whale, otherwise
Yeah.
my supervisor will be disappointed in me.
Nice. Okay.
I'm gonna stick with the Kia.
Sticking with a Kia. Awesome. Okay. So we've got this one's gonna be hard for you, Callum. So we've got a Kia or a Kakapo. 5, 4, 2, 1. Go.
Oh man, you did. Alright, fine. I'm going the Kia. Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Wednesday?
Let's go kakapo, New Zealand species. Gotta
Kakapo.
love it.
Awesome. Nice. Now we've got Kia or Kakapo or Sumatran tiger. 3, 2, 1.
Let's go kakapo still.
Kakapo still.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Kia. I'm very.
Yeah?
I'm overly consistent in this, and I'm starting to get a little bit embarrassed. But
No, we love Kias.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. 2 more. 3 more. Oh no, more than that. Sorry, my bad. Didn't see the list. We've got a Kia or a Kakapo or a Sumatran tiger.
I think we just did that one.
Just
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Either those or a leopard, an Amur leopard. It's a very rare species of leopard.
It is a very, yeah.
It is
Yeah.
pretty rare.
And probably it might, I'm not sure about its ecological niche. It might be a little bit more important.
Oh.
Well, but Kia. Yeah.
Kia, still sticking
Yeah.
with Kia.
Let's stick with kakapo.
Still sticking with kakapo. Nice. Okay, Kia or kakapo or a Maui dolphin.
Ooh.
That's right. Callum just looks absolutely shocked.
Yeah, I am actually.
Got it.
I've seen the Maui dolphin as well.
Oh.
One jumped past me while I was out surfing
Very
at
nice.
Rummers Road,
Yeah.
Motorway.
Was it a Hector's dolphin?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Oh, I don't know. Oh, it might.
That's
Yeah.
hard to distinguish.
Very
Did
well
it-
sound. It would probably be a Maui dolphin.
Yeah. Do they often come up? Do Hectors often venture across the strait?
No. I'm gonna plead the fifth.
Yeah. All right. Sure.
3, 2, 1 team. Which one's gonna be?
Maui.
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 Okay. Maui.
Let's do
We're going to Maui now. Okay. Either Maui dolphin or a Javan rhino. Both.
Maui dolphin.
Maui
Maui
dolphin.
dolphin.
Nice. Okay. Last two for sure this time.
Yeah.
So Maui dolphin or New Zealand fairy tern.
Oh, they are pretty cute.
And they're
Mhm.
both so critically
Yeah.
endangered. Well, you got basically what you got there is East Coast versus West Coast.
What are you going for?
Maui dolphin.
Maui dolphin. Nice.
Fairy tern.
Fairy
I do
tern.
like
Okay.
Good on you. I rate that choice actually.
Yeah. Very nice one today. Okay, final question choice. Would you rather save a Maui dolphin for Callum or a fairy tern for Wednesday or a vaquita porpoise? So they're endemic to the Californian Gulf, the Gulf
Yeah.
of California, and I may tell you how many there are. Very critically endangered.
So
Let's go for Kita because there's like 10 left. Is it 10?
It's 9.
9.
fine,
I was
yeah.
very close.
So you've got basically what you got there is you've got 9 versus about 45.
Yeah, 55.
55?
Mhm.
55. I love Aotearoa. I'm gonna have to go for the Maui's dolphin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a porpoise and a dolphin. A Maui dolphin.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I mean, we are
very
marine
nice.
science majors.
That's true.
Like
yeah.
it's just a bit of a Fibonacci sequence.
Awesome. That was good fun. And
Yeah.
you guys work well under pressure.
Well, thank you.
I was so stressed. Yeah.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
just getting into the podcast straight from that very stressful situation. So this one's all about biodiversity, right?
Yeah.
So could you guys quickly tell us what biodiversity means to you guys?
You want to go first?
Oh, well, for me, biodiversity is the preservation of basically just life as we know it on Earth,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the preservation of a future. Because without a solid sort of amount of biodiversity,
Mm-hmm.
without a solid amount of biodiversity, we're going to end up in a very bad situation. So it's not, for me, I think a lot of people see it as like this sort of, save the trees, that sort of thing, but it's really a lot more critical than that, and
Yeah.
it's key to who we are as humans as well. So yeah, that's what it is to me.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like, biodiversity is more kind of a way that we measure the state of the environment.
Yeah.
The number of species, the abundance, the role of those different species
Mm-hmm.
in their ecosystems and the one that they've been introduced to. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a way of looking at the world and understanding it and kind of understanding the different critters and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's so important for conservation, education, because we have to know what's there before we can protect it. Especially in the marine environment.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people can see below the water
Mm-hmm.
unless you've got a mask and snorkel on.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know like what we have. It's easy to go for a walk in the park, but not as easy to go out into the open ocean, for example. So
And
Yeah.
And Wednesday has a real good point there, because when it comes to the marine environment, especially in New Zealand, it's far less funded than when we talk about the terrestrial
Mm-hmm.
sort of biodiversity topic.
and less
So, yeah.
accessible as well.
Exactly, yeah. So
That's so true. And actually that's like a great way to get on to the next question is like, why is biodiversity important for Aotearoa? Like, we live in such an awesome country.
Yeah.
It's so special. How does biodiversity play a role in that?
Yeah, so we're pretty lucky. So Earth is often described as planet ocean. So 71% of the world's surface is ocean. Here in New Zealand, our EEZ, which is our exclusive economic zone. So it stretches out to about 200 nautical miles from any landmass. So we've got an ocean that's 15 times greater than our landmass. That's insane. Like, it's the 4th biggest in the world. But it's not as protected as the land as well. So, like, we don't understand it as much as land, or we don't protect it as much. So in terms of biodiversity, we've got an incredible land that's been separated from other countries for ages. We have over half of our species are unique to New Zealand. So yeah, we've got to protect the land ones and the ocean ones, because a lot of the critters you can't get anywhere else in the world.
Nice. And just on that note, we've got these two, I guess, ways to describe our specialist species. So we've got natives and we've got endemics. So Callum, could you just tell us a quick, what's the difference between the two?
So a native is basically something that occurs, has been always in a country. It can, not introduced by humans, but it can also be in another country. So a lot of our, for instance, the kikino, the New Zealand fur seal, that actually turns up in places in Australia. So that means it's a native, because it turns up and can breed in places in Australia. Whereas an endemic species like the kakapo is only in New Zealand. And as Wednesday said, we have a lot of endemic species in New Zealand. So yeah.
Nice. And what are your thoughts on why biodiversity is particularly important for Aotearoa? You touched on it briefly before.
Yeah. Well, basically because of our huge amount of endemic species, and the uniqueness of it. Because it's kind of hard to think of a country that the only thing that they really have in the terrestrial realm, apart from bats and geckos and that sort of thing, which sort of are the ones that do need conserving. But they're not the ones that everybody sort of thinks about. There's all these crazy birds, crazy green birds that the only thing they had to worry about was attack from the air, because the only thing that was attacking them was other birds from the air. So yeah, I think that's the uniqueness of New Zealand's natural environment, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it all. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Nice. And then, just going on from that, what do you reckon are the main threats to biodiversity in the terrestrial space for New Zealand in particular?
So I think one of the biggest ones, the two ones that come to mind straight away are loss of habitat. When humans first arrived in New Zealand, we lost, in such a short amount of time, because fire was introduced to a flammable a highly flammable landscape that had never experienced fire in such ways before by humans. So we lost a third of our native bush, and then the second wave of humans coming, we lost another third of our native bush, which is just enormous amounts of loss. And so I think right now we're at about 22% of our coverage is native bush. And so the fragmentation of it for birds that are so, a lot of them flightless, getting from place to place, everything's becoming isolated. Habitat is being lost at a rate we can't really keep up with. We're getting a bit of an extinction debt situation going. And so I think that's number one, loss of habitat, fragmentation of habitat. Number two, mammalian pests.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
But
we love our cats and dogs, man.
Yeah. And it's amazing, because when you go to places that don't have these mammalian pests, like offshore islands and that sort of thing, when you go to these places, they the birds are just flourishing and thriving, and it's it's so easy to see. Because do you guys remember over COVID when we were all like, oh look, there's tuis everywhere, tuis are thriving, and it's no, it's just because we can notice them now. Yeah. Because we don't have any protection. But yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, and it's important as well to remember that a lot of the bush that is intact in the places that aren't developed are those that are hugely inaccessible. Nobody's going to make a townhouse on
in Fiordland.
Yeah. Or on Aoraki or on Taranaki. That's where the animals are thriving, because we aren't there.
Yeah.
But those that live in lowland habitats are, most of them have been wiped out. And the reason why pest-free islands do so well is because it's those habitats that would normally be along the coastline, but they just haven't had those pests yet. So the Hauraki Gulf is slowly becoming more and more pest-free, which is really cool. But it takes communities to do that. So the more people that help, the more friends we'll have.
Yeah.
Go to offshore islands, guys. You will not regret it.
Yeah. And clean your boots and check your bags before you do.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, do not want to be carrying pests. Because, honestly, I've heard that some rats, they can actually swim for,
Up to about 4
kilometers.
k's, yeah.
Yeah.
A pregnant female rat, mate.
Goodness me.
Great swimmer, apparently.
Yeah.
Probably better swimmer than me. It's not hard, though. But yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And Wednesday, what are some threats to biodiversity in the marine realm, in the Hauraki Gulf in particular?
Yeah, so most of the issues with the marine environment are human. We could stop fishing overnight. Obviously, we can't because lots of people rely on it. But the biggest issues in our ocean is the extraction.
Yeah.
So we kind of have a lack of empathy for the ocean. So it's always taking, but unfortunately, we've got the land-based issues as well. So even if we stopped fishing overnight, we'd still have sediment going into waterways and pollution and ocean acidification. So the biggest impact is humans. And we can break it down into all the different, is it me as an individual who's affecting the ocean, or is it the big corporations? So, but all in all, it is just we're taking too much out and we're putting too much bad stuff in to really simplify it down.
Yeah.
But if we stop fishing, we'll get fish stocks coming back. In the Hauraki Gulf, we've lost pretty much all of our crayfish. They are functionally extinct. We've lost pretty much all of our pinnipeds, so seals and sea lions. And we've lost a lot of our cetaceans as well. Almost 97% of cetaceans aren't here anymore. And there's a reason for that. It's not a good house for them.
Yeah.
They've gone. So if we make the Hauraki Gulf a better place, so say by planting mussel beds, reducing the amount of waste and pollution and sediment runoff, we can change those habitats, but it's going to take a lot of work to undo hundreds of years of degradation.
Yeah.
But no, there's still hope.
Exactly. And it all starts with small actions, right? Because every small
Exactly.
action sort of contributes to the bigger picture.
Totally. And the Hauraki Gulf is home to 25% of the world's seabirds. So they come here to breed, have their babies, to have food. We've got 20% of the world's cetacean species coming here. The Hauraki Gulf is really important.
Yeah. And it's in our backyard.
And it's in our backyard, and most people don't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I definitely did not know all of that. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, save the cetaceans and the seabirds.
Yeah. And that just goes to show that it's a connected system, land and water. People often see them as
Separate.
Yeah, but actually it's just one whole thing. And if you take care of the land, if you take care of the water, it's going to take care of you, because at the end of the day, you're, like you said, if you're putting in bad stuff, you're going to get out bad stuff. But
Exactly.
if you put in the good, you get out the good,
Totally.
Awesome. And how do we reckon, because obviously it's all connected, but at the same time it's connected to lots of other factors as well, the environment is connected to the social factor and the economic factor. Do you guys have any thoughts on what impact biodiversity in particular has on society and economic stuff?
Well, in terms, probably when I think of the impact biodiversity has out of those two sort of concepts, with the economics and society, my mind kind of jumps straight away to the way it impacts society. So, when you have, I think they've done studies and stuff on green space and that kind of thing, and obviously green space encourages biodiversity, more animals around, and it genuinely raises people's mental health so much. And so if you have more biodiversity, and for people like Kiwis and people who love our flora and fauna, we're so connected with our land. We love our birds. We love our trees. Get anyone in New Zealand talking about a bird or a tree, and you'll be there for a long time.
Yeah.
We love them so much. So when we see them restored and when we see them in full flight, it just makes people so happy. I remember when I was over on Motatapu, we saw all the kids walking around, and they were walking through the Centenary Trail where all the tieke are, and they were just stoked about it. It was really cool to see. Yeah. So I think socially biodiversity is really important for our well-being. Yeah. it's not. They're a married sort of concept. You know. Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that because I feel like, the whole lockdown last year, it was just an absolute testament to that. People were getting out. They were enjoying.
Oh my gosh! Look at the tuis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Noticing the tuis, noticing the birds. They're like, oh, like there's actually a bird song in my neighborhood. It's actually always been there. But you're only noticing it now because you're,
Yeah, because there's no cars driving.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
What about you, Wednesday? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, marine biodiversity is priceless. You can't put a price on it. It's just amazing when you've got, for example, whales. They collect, different prey, and their poo fertilizes phytoplankton that feeds zooplankton. So you've got to have that high biodiversity to support all those little species. And when we lose out on, snapper and crayfish, they are not only really great food, but also they control the amount of kinna, and that controls the amount of seaweed. And when you have high biodiversity, everything's kind of in a balance. And in the Hauraki Gulf, we're seeing massive imbalances. So the areas that are really balanced, like Goat Island Marine Reserve, the Poor Knights Islands, they are amazing. They generate so much revenue for local communities. They provide jobs, but also they're beautiful, and thousands of people go there every year because they are a beautiful space.
Yeah.
And they love it. Yeah. So the more places like Goat Island we have, the better our communities will be, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so a lot of our listeners are obviously like us, uni students, and so why is biodiversity important for students? Like, why should they care about these things?
It's the future, basically. Yeah, and we are the future. So, care about it, because that's, at the end of the day, that's the world we're going to live in. So we need to look after it. Yeah.
Oh, big fan of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can all do our bit to protect, not only land but also our oceans. Like simple things like using, less plastic and choosing things that don't have microfibers. Like we can all do a tiny part to help protect our ecosystems. Even as a broke uni student, we can still have a pretty big impact, which is really cool.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that. Sylvia Earle,
yes.
I love her, absolutely.
10 out of 10.
Great ocean explorer. She said that nobody can do every single thing, right? At all, nobody can do that. But somebody can do something, and so everyone just really needs to pick that something and just stick to it, just commit to it.
I think that's really powerful. Like, you can do something.
Yeah.
You can't do everything, but you can do it.
Yeah. Do something.
Do something. Yeah.
It's better to do things imperfectly than not do anything at all.
Exactly. Yeah. Nice. And as Callum said, it is our future. We're the ones going to be living in it. So
totally.
Yeah, gotta do something about that. Just stemming on from that, what experience do you guys have working in the conservation biodiversity field?
Yeah, I've had a few different jobs, terrestrial and marine.
Yeah.
And one of the ones we worked on was actually, I worked on was the National Invasive Ant Surveillance Program. So a lot of people don't know about it, but it's a program MPI does every year to look for invasive ants.
Yeah, Argentinian ant.
Well, better. There's actually ghost ants, crazy ants. There's so many
they all
different
smell.
ones. They all smell.
Lovely.
But these places like ports of Auckland, ports of Tauranga, those are the spaces where these animals come in, and if they're not picked up, that's how they get out of control, like the Argentinian ants. So my job was to look through about 40,000 puddles, looking for one ant out of all the native ones. So it kind of just shows that even a little bit of one tiny ant colony can have devastating effects. So that was really cool. Other jobs, I've worked at Kelly Tarleton's before, so showing New Zealand species to local kids, and it's just great to kind of learn about it and then show people the beauty of our oceans.
And absolutely, just passing on that knowledge as well to other people.
Fun fish facts are fun facts.
Yes, they are.
And who doesn't love a fun fish fact?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about you, Callum?
Myself, so one sort of stint I did was with Doc over in Aotearoa, summer or two ago. So I was working with the ranger there. It was like a sort of voluntary thing.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how I got onto it, but they just just somehow they were like, oh, I got an email one day, and then I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, and it was really cool because we were working with takihe, and lots of this little shorebirds, just basically checking their breeding numbers and how they were doing during the season, as well as keeping the takihe on a close watch.
Yeah.
As well as we did a lot of wasp patrol and ant patrol and all that. The same thing. Was it with a little green bait that you put, and you have to get it real quick? Yeah, exactly. I did a bit of that. Oh man, it's not glamorous work, eh? But it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one experience that I've had, and I really enjoyed that because for the people who are listening, if you get to go to the offshore islands and experience what's over there, you will see that when you put New Zealand flora and fauna in its own environment and give it its own space, it flourishes and thrives. There were kakariki, tieke, just seabirds everywhere, and it was really weird because it's not that far from the mainland. So if you want to see a kakariki, go to Aotearoa.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and Doc does so much amazing work as well. I did a Blake ambassadorship, which is with the Sir Peter Lake Trust. If you're under 25, do it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But we got to work with New Zealand sea lion and hoiho, and
sick.
it was amazing. But also we saw so many of the impacts that they face. We rescued skinny penguins, injured penguins, saw heaps of sea lions, and it's just amazing seeing them in their natural habitats, but also the work that they do.
Yeah.
If you're a dock ranger working on hoiho, 90% of your day is hiking.
Yeah.
And 10% is getting to hang out with the cute fluffy chicks.
Yeah.
But it's so worth it and getting to see that, so if you want to be a ranger, it's cool. It's really fun.
And the New Zealand sea lion, or pakaho, as
and pakiki.
Pakiki, as one of New Zealand's sort of conservation success stories. If you go to St Clair Beach in Dunedin, you'll see a big statue, and it's a sea lion called Mum. Yeah. And that sea lion was because they were basically hunted to extinction off the mainland, and that sea lion was a female sea lion that just came back and had a pup at was it St Kilda?
Yeah.
I think and that's really cool because they reintroduced themselves to New Zealand shores. And
most of the sea lions in New Zealand now are
reintroduced.
Oh wow.
They're all from Mum.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's sick, and they're scary though. I was surfing in the Catlins one time and I got fully chased out of the water by one. Because I don't know what happened. It was just really not happy that I was there.
Very territorial.
They are.
Yeah. The ones we met were friendly.
Yeah. Maybe it's because I was I don't know. But yeah, it was really funny because it didn't stop and it quite passed. So yeah, but yeah, no hate sea lion though. It was all good.
We love.
I did something wrong, so it's, yeah.
Nice. So you guys have briefly mentioned where you guys got these opportunities. So we've got the Blake Ambassador Program and through Doc. Any other ideas on how our listeners could access these opportunities if they're keen on this space?
Apply for everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything.
Nice.
Yeah. Apply for it's out there.
Yeah.
It's sometimes not very well advertised. You got to find it. But just apply for everything because it'll come your way.
Yeah, and our generation is so bad with imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they have imposter syndrome, but really you never know, and it's always worth a shot. And places like Auckland Council, they do summer internships every year. Doc does heaps of stuff, so there's heaps out there. You just have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And if because I just love Doc. If you get the chance to volunteer with Doc, or do anything with Doc, definitely grasp it with both hands because you always work with really cool people.
Yeah. And
a huge range of diverse backgrounds. Apply guys. Yeah.
Just see what's out there and go for it.
Yeah.
And so biodiversity is obviously such a critical and important issue. And at SINZ, we're all about basically solving social issues through innovative solutions. And so what do you guys see as what are your guys' innovative ideas? Do you have any ideas or visions or dreams that you'd like to apply to like biodiversity?
I would love my thesis to work out. So my thesis is part of a big project called the Pulse of the Gulf. So basically, we're taking heaps of different measurements to find out how healthy the Gulf is. And the one that I'm working on is drones. So drones are hugely accessible now. You can buy them from, Noel Leeming, PB Tech, they're everywhere. And what we're trying to do is code AI, so artificial intelligence, to watch the drone footage and tell us how biodiverse our environment is. So on a fine scale side of things, I'm looking at the behaviour, but that will be used to count how many dolphins we have, how many sooty shearwaters, flesh-footed shearwaters, and hopefully we can use drones to work out those population abundances that would normally take thousands of hours and heaps of time and resources. And by knowing how many, critters we have, we can help protect them, and that, benefits people as well. It's not very social, but that information is so important for people making decisions, especially around funding and things. So that's mine. I hope my thesis goes towards something good.
Oh, I hope so too.
It will.
Hopefully.
Well, for me, my sort of one that I'd love to see happen would be conservation or biodiversity related topic becoming part of our NCA educational system, so that like you have secondary children and maybe even like primary being educated on the way up with like a genuinely proper subject that they can do, because when you do like biology or geography or whatever at high school, it's all kind of a bit I don't know, not to like
you don't need to learn what the apical stem of a cell is.
No, it's like it's all like sort of like I think it's really cool, but it's not really applicable sometimes, so I think that'd be really cool if we could see a conservation type subject and like it counting towards something, so you can like it won't be like one of those ones where it's like, oh, you just get achieved credits for it. It'd be like you could work for it. So that would be
No, I love both those ideas, because I feel like there's often a misconception surrounding innovation that it has to be something businessy. But actually, no, like innovation for me personally, it's like anything that helps something be better or like makes a difference,
And don't you think it's funny that the innovation paper that you can take at Auckland Uni is part of the business school? Like like literally that.
So no, definitely. So I reckon you can innovate 100%. In various different ways. Cool. I think that's us today, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you to the listeners for listening. This has been such an awesome episode. Like, I feel like I've learned so much from you guys, so thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You guys are from awesome clubs yourselves. Do you have any like events or anything that you'd like our listeners to know about?
We've actually got a combined event coming up on Saturday.
Saturday the 22nd.
Yeah, so this Saturday, is it?
Yeah, so if you're listening
my
to this
dates
in
are right,
October, please do not come. It's October.
But you will have known that you missed out on a good thing. But we've got a beach cleanup coming up on Saturday between two clubs, which is cool.
Yeah, so Auckland Uni Marine Science Society runs regular beach cleans, and one of those is the one at Mission Bay. So we target two different plastics, so the big ones that people normally see, but also microplastics, which is really fun because you don't pick up cigarette butts normally. So we're partnering with SFC, and we've got free pizza, and we've got everything except water bottles. So bring your own water bottle, bring a sun hat,
very nice,
and have a good time.
Cool.
Yeah, and SFC's got a whole weird bunch of events coming up, but they're all really cool for sure. We've got one coming up called Grassroots Greatness, which is a sort of, it's like a kind of like a grassroots political movement type of event, and how you can do that. A good friend of mine speaking at it, and he's had a lot of experience with like I think he worked on Bernie Sanders' campaign and Ricardo as well in New Zealand, so that's really cool. And then me being the queen bee of the sort of bee sanctuary area, we've got just working bees like all the time, so we're just gardening, And it's not even like, it's not even all gardening. You can just come on down, have a corridor, just enjoy it, because there's lots of students that come along just for a good time. Because the main focus of it is, of course, like, it's a small space. We're not going to do heaps, but the main focus of it is transforming it and also having students with us along that way, so they can experience that sort of thing.
And if you're wondering, that is a bee sanctuary. Like,
Yeah.
how cool! UOA has a bee sanctuary on campus.
No one even
It's
I'm
tucked
always
away.
like, oh, the bee sanctuary, come on, guys,
Yeah.
and like everybody's like,
We
But
need
come on.
bees,
Yeah, literally.
Like, actually, they're
Save the
foundational,
bees.
so.
the bees
Good
won't
idea.
die, we die.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a law student and you have classes by the law building.
Yeah, a lot
You
of
have no excuse.
there's a lot of law students that like go and have a smoke there, so I'm really glad there's no cigarette butts in the in the sanctuary. I mean, I may be unaware, but people enjoy it, so you can too.
Come on down.
So it's right next to the law school. There's a big stick on the wall of the bee, so you can't miss it.
Look out for the bee, the giant bee.
Yeah.
Nice. And for SINZ, we've got our conference coming up on August the 14th, and that's basically like we have a bunch of different social issues and a bunch of different speakers, and it's basically like giving students an opportunity to see how innovation is applied in various different fields. So yeah, and just a cool experience. Would highly recommend. And yeah, thank you so much to Kieran and Move Space for allowing us to use this really awesome little studio. We love it. And if you haven't already, follow us on the socials at Humans of SINZ on Instagram, and have a groovy night. Thanks for listening, team.
Have a real funky night.
Yeah, catch you for the next episode. Bye.